Behind this separating wall lies Palestine. Approximately 10 kilometers north of Jerusalem is Ramallah, the city the Palestinian Authority has adopted as its unofficial capital. A short distance from the center of town, the civil police is undergoing training. 100-odd police officers are practicing crowd control for a football match. They're being supervised by this instructor. The European Union helps the Palestinian Authority to improve its policing in the fields of maintaining order and respecting human rights.
Ils sont très pointus sur ces problèmes de droits de l'homme, d'usage de la force, de graduation de la force. Ils veulent vraiment monter une police civile exemplaire.
The European Union gives broader help to the Palestinian Authority in the implementation of sustainable and effective civil police structures. Infrastructures and equipment are practically non-existent. The mission is therefore working on all fronts: the training of officers, setting up a computer network, and more recently, the enforcement of the rule of law.
It's important to develop institutions for the Palestinian Authority, for an eventual Palestinian state. Underpinning that has to be security. Underpinning security has to be a civilian police force that's responsible to a civilian ministry, the Ministry of the Interior, and accountable to an independent judiciary. A police force meeting international standards that you'd find anywhere in the world. That's an important basis for any future Palestinian state.
The main objectives of the mission are to help the Palestinian police enforce law and order in the occupied West Bank and prevent the encroachment of security chaos. These two conditions must be fulfilled to enable the Palestinian Authority to fully assume its role on its own territory and in the international arena.
Israel needs a Palestinian neighbour which has the rule of law, is secure, in which criminals can be arrested and in which people who pose a threat to Israel can be dealt with by the Palestinian Authority. And in that way, Israel hopefully will feel confident to withdraw from the occupation.
In order to achieve this, the authority of the Palestinian government must be effective over the whole territory. We are in Nablus. This huge work site will be the future headquarters of what is called here the Muqata, the place where government offices and the local administrative headquarters are located. This afternoon, the governor and the architect are having a meeting and going for a tour of the plans. The European Union has financed the construction of the Ministry of Interior headquarters and the police headquarters.
حاليا إعادة بناء مثل هذا المقر للأجهزة الأمنية يعيد هيبة الأجهزة الأمنية والشيء أساسي لتطبيق النظام القانون وحقوق الإنسان في فلسطين. لذلك حنقول له أهمية كبيرة لإعادة بناء مثل هذا المقر.
For the population and the armed militias, the Muqata is a strong symbol of the existence of the Palestinian Authority. Its duty is to ensure the continuity of governmental services.
It's for the EU assistance that we still have a Palestinian Authority. If they did not engage heavily in providing assistance to the Palestinians, the Palestinian Authority could have fallen down during the years 2006-2007.
The security of any society inevitably requires justice. The European Union is financing the training of judges and prosecutors to help set up an effective judiciary system, which is currently pretty shaky. 90% of detainees in prison have not yet received their final sentencing. The penal system is severely lacking in qualified judges and prosecutors.
الحقيقة هو أن تحقيق العدالة وقضاء فاعل هو مهم جدا للشعب الفلسطيني وللمواطن الفلسطيني، لأنه هذا المواطن حرم من العدالة أجيال طويلة، وفي نفس الوقت هذا يحقق مبدأ سيادة القانون في فلسطين.
Now we're heading to the northwest of Jenin, to a village called Zabuba. It's harvest time in the olive groves. Olives are crucial to Palestine. Half of all cultivated land is planted with olive trees, and for 100,000 families, they are the main source of income. Olive cultivation is essential to the population, but also to the Palestinian state, which needs a functioning economy to be viable. Yet in 2000, after the Second Intifada, border closures put a stop to the export of olive oil towards the Arab populations in Israel and the Gulf.
On s'est retrouvé avec des stocks d'huile d'olive invendus qui ont amené à une chute des cours et les Palestiniens, les oliculteurs palestiniens ne vendaient leur huile en dessous de leur coût de production pendant les années 2001, 2002, 2003.
Since 2007, the European Union has been financing a project to improve the quality of the olive oil, increase yield and find new export outlets. In good years, Palestine can produce 30,000 tons of olive oil. It exports only a fraction of this production. The objective is to considerably increase exports. In addition to projects such as this one, the European Union has also allocated tax-free quotas for the main Palestinian agricultural exports such as olive oil, oranges, melons and cut flowers.
طبعا التصدير يساعد المزارعين على البقاء في أرضهم وعلى الاعتناء بشجرة الزيتون بشكل أفضل لأنه التصدير عائد زيت الزيتون المصدر بيكون عائد عالي وبالتالي بيساعد على النمو الاقتصادي وبيساعد على تحسين الوضع الاقتصادي للمزارع بشكل عام.
In order to secure exports, the Palestinians have set up a national jury to ensure that all products leaving the territory conform to international standards and consumers' expectations.
Ce qui paraissait important, en fait, c'était d'amener les Palestiniens à s'autogérer, s'auto-sanctionner eux-mêmes.
Much remains to be done and to be built in the Palestinian territories. Schools are needed to provide education to 25,000 new pupils each year. Here in Deir Amar, a new wing is being added to the local school thanks to European money. And it's very necessary, for the classes here are way overpopulated. The lab has been split in two to transform one half into a classroom. On average, there are 40 pupils to a class. The new wing will make it possible to halve this number.
لما بده يكون عندي 20 طالب بدي اوقف عند بدي اوقف عند الجميع باريحيه وتنتهي الحصه وانا منهي كل اي سؤال اي استفسار بده يقدمه الطالب لي، يعني راح يتوفر على المعلم مجهود كبير وراح يكون في هناك ايضا تقدم في العمليه التربويه، تقدم ويكون في استفاده اكثر من قبل الطلبه.
European aid in the project improves access to education for pupils and ensures better quality of teaching. The Palestinian Authority is preparing the new generation for the task of taking the country in hand. European aid to the Palestinian Authority is given using a global approach via the financing of projects such as the one we've just seen, but also via humanitarian aid to refugees and direct financial aid to institutions. This direct aid allows the Palestinian Authority to pay pensions and the salaries of teachers, doctors, or social workers. In fact, it enables them to supply the same basic services to the population that are available in any other state. The EU's objective is to help create a viable, independent, democratic Palestinian state with a view to finding a solution to the conflict between Palestine and Israel.